What I think happens is a lot of us are living life for other people. And when you realize that we were not created to live life for our boss, to live life for our spouse, to live life for our fucking coworker that we are always annoyed at and all this shit. Whenever you live life for somebody else, it's no wonder why you're so depressed, because something's wrong. Something's off, and you might not be able to tell, on the surface, but something feels off, even if it's in the back of your head. And the more you keep putting off that signal that is telling you something's wrong, the more you're gonna hate yourself. Because one of the things that I've learned in this journey of mine is the most important opinion in this entire world of ours, besides God, is yourself. Hands down. Because, you could please everybody, but if you're not pleased with yourself, you're gonna hear it. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you how to get better at hearing your voice, which I believe is the key to curing your depression, instead of listening to other voices in our lives. But that's why you feel like shit all the time. Because it's kind of like whenever you eat junk food, man, you do feel like shit after, because we were not created to eat Cheetos all the fucking time. Fucking French fries and all that shit. That's why you feel that way. There's a reason why when you eat junk food, you feel like junk. You feel like shit. And it's the same thing. Whenever you live life for people, there's gonna be something in your brain. Something's wrong. And the more you keep repressing that, the more your body is naturally gonna start sending these chemicals and these feelings of tiredness and fatigue, because you're literally, your body's fed up with your bullshit, bro. It's fed up. And you gotta stop that shit. You gotta stop. And I'm gonna tell you how, man. Okay, so y'all saw the video title, Why Y'all Have Depression and How to Fix It. Now, I know that everybody goes through depression for a multitude of reasons. I know. And I know that every depression has its own different levels. But to me, what's at the core of really any type of pain that you can go through psychologically, emotionally, is a lack of self-awareness. Now, I know you're probably thinking, wait, here we go again with this, hippie bullshit. But trust me on this. This is coming from experience, okay? This is coming from years of me dealing with social anxiety, dealing with depression, dealing with, moments where, bro, I didn't even want to be here anymore, So I get it. Now, again, I'm not trying to say that I know exactly what you're going through, but I guarantee you, if you do what I say in this video, this is going to help you a lot, guys. And I know that there's a lot of people who really need to hear this message. So what do I mean by self-awareness? When people say, you should be yourself, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Except a lot of times people don't really understand what it truly means to be yourself. But my definition, and in my experience of figuring out how to be yourself, is spending time alone, no music, no noise, no social media, nothing, spending enough time with yourself, listening to your thoughts, listening to all the anxieties that pop up, journaling, taking notes, doing that on a consistent basis until you realize what has been hiding in the inside. That to me is my little elongated version of how to be yourself. And if you do that, if you spend the time figuring out, I don't know if you're a man or a woman, but I know it can be kind of different for women, right? But for men, a lot of times we just need alone time. We need to go for a little drive. We need everybody to get out of the house, or we need to go for a walk, whatever it takes to cancel out the noise. Now, why do you have to cancel out the noise? I believe that one of the biggest reasons why we are depressed is because we spend all our lives listening to others instead of ourselves. This is why meditation is so important. But again, I don't want to get ahead of myself here. But we spend our whole life. Do you need help right there? Okay. Let me help you with that. Oh, hey, that's about to fall here. It's like, bro, relax. I got it. It's like we are trying to give a helping hand to anybody that we see, and yet where's our help? We are so concerned about others, yet who is concerned about us? No one is going to look out for yourself but yourself. You got to remember that, guys. The moment that you spend time, whether it's going for a walk, going for a drive, whatever you got to do, meditation, in order to cancel out the noise. A lot of us have full-time jobs. A lot of us have kids. A lot of us have spouses. It's easy to get caught up. But I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, if you do this and you spend that time alone and listening to your anxiety. Now, what do I mean by listening to yourself? Well, you'd be surprised what comes to the surface when you actually just sit in silence. You'd be surprised, man. All those negative thoughts that pop up in your head when you're at work and you're like, is everybody looking at me? Is everybody? Those type of thoughts pop up in your head too, even when you're alone. What are you doing? What are you doing? You should be at home playing video games. No, TikTok. All these things are going to be popped up in your head. All of these things. And let them flow like a river. Whether it's negative thoughts, whether it's positive thoughts, and eventually, if you can just let all these thoughts pop up on the surface, eventually you're going to start hearing things. And no, I don't mean some freaking sixth sense bullshit or whatever. I mean, for everybody it's different, right? But things are going to come to the surface. For a lot of us, it's anxieties. Maybe it's things that we've been putting off. You gotta vacuum the living room. Oh shit, I forgot, Maybe you've been too lazy. You haven't been doing your chores at home. Whatever it is. Everybody's different, but the key is listen to yourself. Now, again, for some of you guys, you might be listening to this and be like, what the living shit is this bastard talking about? But that's the fucking point. You guys got to realize this. In order to stand out, you got to do things that other people are not doing. And that includes, meditation. That includes listening to yourself. That includes self-talk, I know a lot of people think affirmations are cringe. I do too. Yet, if you really stop and think about it, that is what the law of attraction is. But again, here I go. I'm getting ahead of myself. Folks. You see, you guys are getting me off track here. Let whatever come to the surface come to the surface. Now, again, it could be something positive, be something negative. And write it down. Now, of course, you don't have to write it down, but studies have shown that when you write stuff down, it clicks more. What I usually like to do is I like to leave a little memo in my phone. And even when I'm typing it in on my phone, on the notes, I got an iPhone. There's just some sort of registration that happens, you know, and it becomes a little bit more subconscious when I put it down. But, you know, for example, like with me, when I started doing this, I really noticed how much of a nice guy that I was. When I started spending time with myself and listening to what came to the surface, I started to hear a lot of voices that were not my own. Now, at first I was thinking like, okay, like, you know, how much cocaine did you snort, Dallas? But then I started realizing like, wait a fucking second here. I've been living my whole life for someone else. And it's one of the most fucked up realizations that you can ever have. What it really feels like, I mean, someone just takes the rug right from under you, right from under your feet, and they flip your shit over. That's the way it feels, man. I mean, when I started doing this, I started realizing that I was living a lie. All those voices that I was hearing, my family, my coworkers, my boss, you know, my girlfriend at the time, all this shit, man. Dallas, why do you do it like this? Why do you do it like this? No, do it like this. And I would notice that all my decisions, about 95, maybe even 97% of my decisions were all based off of what others were telling me. It was a fucking horrible discovery, yet a very valuable one. A lot of times when you take the time for yourself to listen to what's going on, it's basically self-therapy. Because, I mean, you can sit on the couch in that leather seat and just lay down and, you know, let Dr. Oxford ask you all the questions about your childhood. But at the end of the day, you are the only one who knows you. You got to spend the time with yourself, man. So, let's say you do all this and you spend the time, and this might take more than just a couple of days, guys. I mean, this might take months. This might take this might take time. But it's worth it, man. As a matter of fact, even if you were to do a week, I would at least do about a month. You know? And at least a couple times a week. Okay, basically treat this like your exercise. Okay, now I get it, we all have schedules that are busy and hectic, but you gotta make the time for this, bro. You gotta make the time for this, because I'm telling you the truth, when I did this in my life, and I have always been this kind of guy who never believed in therapy, never believed in going to doctor. I don't even want to fucking go to doctors. You know, I could be dying on the floor. I don't want to, man. And yet, when I just started doing these things, man, I noticed I'm not the same Dallas anymore. I mean, I have people at work, you know, looking at me like if I just came back from planet Uranus. I don't know why I had to choose that planet, bro, but you get the point, man. Look at your notes every single day and walk as yourself. Recognize, okay, I've been too much of a nice guy, or okay, I've been putting off going to the gym. I need to get back on my purpose. Recognize all these things, implement them in your life, but the key is recognizing. When you start doing this, you're going to start hearing your voice more, man. You're going to start hearing your voice. That little inner voice in your head, a lot of times throughout life, we don't even realize that that inner voice is somebody else's voice, right? But when you take that time and listen to yourself, you are going to start noticing that voice changes. And I know this shit sounds like a bunch of fucking bullshit, man. I know. But you got to understand one thing, man. Life is not just Big Bang and then we were fucking here, bro. This life is spiritual, man. And until you start realizing that we are spiritual human beings. Now, I mean, I believe in Christ, right? But whatever you believe in, man, you are gonna start making life easier when you realize that we're not alone and that life is all pertained on not what's out here, but what's in here.